1990s. A time of storms. Prince Charles and Princess Diana got married in 1981. At first, it looked like a fairy tale. But behind the scenes, things were not well. Charles was in love with another woman, Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana felt alone and unhappy. Their marriage slowly broke. In 1992, 3 of her children had marriage problems. Charles and Diana separated. Anne got divorced. Andrew also separated from his wife. That year, Windsor Castle caught fire. The Queen said 1992 was her annus horribilis, Latin for horrible year. Then came a tragedy that shook the world. On August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana died in a car crash in Paris. The world was in shock. People cried openly on the streets. Flowers were left outside Buckingham Palace in piles. But the Queen did not make a public statement immediately. She stayed in Scotland with her grandsons, Prince William and Prince Harry, who had just lost their mother. People got angry. They said the Queen didn't care. But in truth, she was trying to protect her grandsons and help them grieve in peace. Later, she gave a live speech on TV. She looked straight into the camera and said, "As a grandmother, I say from my heart, I admire Diana. She was an exceptional and gifted human being." That moment softened hearts. People understood her pain. In the 2000s, Elizabeth became a grandmother and great-grandmother. She had many young faces around her. She was still working every day, attending events, hosting world leaders, giving speeches, opening schools, hospitals, and museums, meeting people from all walks of life. She met 14 different prime ministers during her reign, from Winston Churchill to Boris Johnson. She also met every American president from Harry Truman to Joe Biden, except one. She traveled more than 1 million miles, visited over 100 countries, and never complained. Her Diamond Jubilee. In 2012, the world celebrated her Diamond Jubilee, 60 years as Queen. Crowds cheered, flags waved, concerts were held. The Queen smiled. She had become more than just a queen. She was a grandmother to a nation, a symbol of continuity, wisdom, and grace. Part 4. The Later Years. A queen of strength, heartbreak, and grace. The 21st century began, and Elizabeth was no longer a young queen. She was now an elderly woman, still strong, still smiling, but with many years of experience behind her eyes. She had ruled for over 50 years by the time the 2000s arrived. Think about that. The world had changed. Televisions had become smartphones. Horses had become helicopters. Letters had become emails. Men walked on the moon. Wars had ended. New ones had begun. And yet Elizabeth was still there, standing tall. One of the sweetest parts of her later years was her relationship with her grandchildren. She was no longer just the queen. To them, she was Granny. She had 8 grandchildren, and each one brought her joy in a special way. 1. Prince William. Quiet, thoughtful, the future king. She had private lunches with him to guide him gently. 2. Prince Harry. Energetic, emotional, rebellious. She had a soft spot for him. They laughed a lot together. 3. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. Sweet, stylish, emotional. She admired their kindness and creativity. 4. Peter and Zara, from Princess Anne. Zara was into horses, just like her grandmother. They spent time together riding in the countryside. 5. Lady Louise and James, youngest of all, children of Prince Edward. Elizabeth often read books with Louise and taught her about royal history. She wrote birthday cards for them. gave them small, thoughtful gifts, sometimes funny, sometimes homemade. Her Christmas traditions were very special. At Sandringham House, the entire family gathered. They sang carols, played silly games, ate turkey dinner with pudding. Elizabeth would give a speech and smile at everyone, always wearing a sparkly brooch or her famous pearl necklace. She may have been queen of a nation, but in that living room, she was just Granny. Even in her 80s and 90s, Elizabeth lived a very structured and disciplined life. Let's walk through a typical day in her later years. 7:30 a.m. Wake up. Her maid would bring tea, Earl Grey, and biscuits. She liked silence in the mornings. 8 a.m. Bathe, dress, always neatly, with a special outfit prepared the day before, and review the day's schedule. 8:30 a.m. Breakfast. Often simple: toast, jam, scrambled eggs, sometimes fish. 9 a.m. Read official papers in the red box. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Meet guests, ministers, ambassadors, or people receiving awards. 1 p.m. Light lunch. She enjoyed grilled fish or chicken with salad. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Walk in the garden or ride her pony, even in her 90s. 5 p.m. Tea time, her favorite moment. She loved scones, jam, and a good cup of Darjeeling tea. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Dinner, usually with close family. 9 p.m. Watch a little TV. She liked crime dramas and horse races. 10:30 p.m. Read or write in her diary, then go to sleep. Even at 90, she didn't rest much. She believed, if I'm alive, I must serve. Now we come to one of the most emotional parts of her life: the loss of her beloved husband, Prince Philip. In April 2021, after 73 years of marriage, Philip passed away peacefully at 99 years old. They had been together since she was 13. She was now 94. That day, the palace announced, "It is with deep sorrow that Her Majesty the Queen announces the death of her beloved husband." The world cried, but no one felt it like she did. His funeral was small and quiet due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And the world saw a heartbreaking image: the Queen, sitting alone, dressed in black, with her head bowed in silence. No tears, no words, just grief. She once said, "Grief is the price we pay for love." After that, she spent more time alone. But she still worked. She still smiled. She still showed up, because that's who she was. Now let's talk about a modern challenge. In 2020, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle announced they were stepping away from royal duties. It shocked the world. People called it Megxit. Later, Harry and Meghan gave a TV interview where they talked about their struggles in the royal family, especially about race, mental health, and media pressure. Some things they said hurt the Queen, but she responded not with anger, but with dignity. The palace released a statement. "The issues raised are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they will be taken very seriously. Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be much loved members of the family." This showed the world something powerful. Even in conflict, Elizabeth chose kindness. She believed in family first, always. In 2022, Queen Elizabeth made history. She became the first British monarch ever to celebrate a platinum jubilee. 70 years on the throne. The nation celebrated for 4 days. There were street parties, concerts, and fireworks. But her health was weak. She couldn't attend every event. Still, she made a surprise appearance on the palace balcony. Wearing a light green coat and hat, she smiled at the crowd, waving gently. Her eyes sparkled with peace. That moment meant so much to people.